Hey everybody, Ron right here, and today I'm going to showcase one of the simplest strategies in game that can pretty much lead you to 7 to 8 divines per hour in the current economy. Well, you don't need anything to run that. You don't need Scarabs, you don't need Atlas trees, or anything else. You just need to buy one memory, which is pretty cheap and should work just fine for you. After that, you will be able to just receive profits by running as many as possible per hour. I think you can make even more divines than I did because some builds are faster. You can also try to get some higher buffs on the maps and stuff like that. However, even in my case, it's working perfectly because 8 divines per hour with such amount of preparation feels really nice. Let's go forward and see what exactly you will need to run it and how to run it really efficiently. So the strategy itself is very simple. You just need to click Memory of Sacred Grove in particular place in your atlas. And after that you need to enter the map, go for Harvest and pretty much complete it as fast as possible. After the harvest is completed, you need to go out of the map, without finishing anything else inside, to go to the next map, pretty much to get as many harvests as possible per hour. Your Atlas tree is not really working for memories, so you don't need any kind of Atlas tree for it too. And you can't add any kind of Scarabs to memories as well. So that way you don't need any kind of Scarabs too. You just need some quality changing currency, such as Cartography of Chisels, Orb of Alchemy, and Scorings to roll your maps. Just try to roll them fast, and that's pretty much it. Let's go forward and I will be able to break down my profit that I got from running that strategy for at least 1 hour. So that's pretty much the profit breakdown. It took me about 56-55 minutes to complete 6 Einhar memory of the Sacred Grove. I paid 100 Chaos Dust for each of them. As you can check right now, they're around 100 Chaos Dust. And 6 of them, it will be 600 Chaos, which will lead us price of 4 divines. Let's check what I got in terms of profit. Vivid Crystallized Lifeforce is about 4 divines profit right here. So 4 divines will pretty much compensate for the price that we paid for Einhar Memory Sacred Groves already. Everything else like Primal and Wild will be just pure profit. So Primal Crystallized Lifeforce netted me about 3.8 divines, which is pretty nice right now. And on top of that, Wild netted about 3.7 divines. Both of them together leading to about 7.5 divines of a pure profit. Adding Sacred Blossom of top, I got only one of those, but sometimes you can get 2 or even 3, which could be really nice. They cost about 45 Chaos, like 50 Chaos. You can try to sell them for 0.4 divines as well. Sometimes people are buying them pretty often. And on top of that, it leads us to about 8 divines per hour of our time. With all of that, just rushing that strategy. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need any kind of Scarabs, you don't need any kind of taxes on top. You can just make about 7 to 8 divines just rushing that. Entering the map, doing Einhar Memory of the Sacred Grove, and exiting it. So talking about where you should click your memory, I generally recommend to go into the right corner and start with the Atoll. Therefore going like Atoll, Promenade, Carrot House, and Lava Lake for example. Because the Atoll will provide you with a pretty quick run. It's so easy to get up to the harvest in Atoll because it's almost always spawns at the start. So the next maps are pretty much not perfect for sure, however the Atoll itself can compensate for that because it will speed up the whole process for you. So I also recommend to move Einhar as close to your stash as possible because that way you can just start the maps much faster. You can click there and you need to chisel the maps. Don't forget about that. After that, you need to roll any kind of buff that your build is currently alright with. So something like that worked perfectly for me. Try to aim for higher quantity and higher rarity. You can't add anything in those places. So now Scarabs are allowed. You can just go and use a basic map like that. So I'm simply clicking and starting it. So talking about should you corrupt mobs or not, that's a pretty personal question, and that depends on your build. If you feel like your build can handle almost all modifiers and there's literally nothing that breaks it, well, that's good, because that way means that you can pretty much just go and corrupt the stuff without any issue. However, if you're not that sure, I definitely do not recommend that, because the buffs, especially the later mobs, are pretty hard already, and if you're going to corrupt, you can pretty much lose the map and lose the profit because of that. So it could be a big issue, especially if your build is not really feels that amazing. So going in the map, it's pretty simple and you don't need to do a lot of changes. So generally I just start and I immediately go to the Sacred Grove. When you enter the Sacred Grove, you just need to clear it as fast as possible. You don't really need to do anything on top of that. And the only time that you are losing here, like possibility, is pretty much the time that you are spending while monsters are trying to emerge. So you don't need to do anything else. If you can clear them faster, it's even better. There's also a little more time for looting. And if you're losing one of the monsters, that's currently alright as well. So on top of that, you're just starting the next one. If your build has great AoE, it could feel better. Mine currently has rage issues because I can't stack rage there properly, and it could be a little harder. So try to take position that works well for you, and that's pretty much the whole idea. So generally clearing all of Harvest is not really taking a lot of time. It's based on your build, that's for sure, and on the whole situation, but generally it should take you not a lot. And after you finish the Harvest, you can pretty much just leave them up. And that's probably the biggest secret of doing that strategy efficiently. You don't really need to do like anything in there. So after you cleared it and after you looted everything that you have, you can just leave the map immediately. So I'm not going to do anything else. I'm literally leaving to the hideout. So talking about how hard is that? I think most of the builds can handle it if they kinda try it strategically. Just don't really stand in the middle of the fight and try to kill more different monsters fast. However, you definitely need some kind of working build, and if you have some kind of way to prepare your damage, such as traps for example, or if you can just click the Berserk every time when it happens, when you're starting fighting enemies, I think it could be better for you. However, prepare to die occasionally if your defenses are not crazy high and there's at least some kind of damage that you are afraid of. Also, don't forget to click your flasks while you're doing it, because that way you're surviving much better. So this is the simplest strategy that you can use right now to make a pretty decent amount of divines in the game. You don't need anything to do this except memories that you will still need to buy. On top of that, it's not really that hard to do, even if some monsters can pretty much kill you if you overbuff them. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you will get some divines as well. See you next time!